we're going to dive into our first wedding. Edge and Vicky Guerrero, storyline wedding, ends up in a total disaster. This was back in July of 2008. Vicky Guerrero had a lot of love triangles in WWE. Former wife of Eddie Guerrero. Definitely one of the more interesting weddings in wrestling history. Ends up in complete disarray thanks to Triple H and that infamous tape. That was interesting. Vicky Guerrero is an interesting figure in wrestling romances. I feel like she had a thing with Dolph Ziggler for a while, too. Bobby Lashley and Lana's wedding in December of 2019, folks. Even though we all knew that Lana and Rusev were married to each other in real life, they still had a wedding. Made no sense. Lana and Dolph Ziggler also had a weird romance with each other. I think they even kissed on television. Still made no sense. Everybody knew Lana and Rusev were together in a relationship in real life. Bizarre to me. Just absolutely bizarre. Don't get it. Still don't get it. Now, I'm going to talk about this wedding for a second. This was a storyline wedding. Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee. Okay, we're going to talk a lot about AJ Lee this half. Daniel Bryan and AJ Lee ended up, they weren't married together in real life. Daniel Bryan is married in real life now to the lovely Brie Bella, and AJ Lee is married to CM Punk in real life. It is quite an interesting affair they had. Obviously, they kissed at WrestleMania 18. No doubt about it. Quite the interesting affair. AJ Lee's kissed a lot of wrestlers on television. She's kissed a lot of them. Just a lot. Okay. Macho Man Randy Savage and Elizabeth had a wedding. SummerSlam 1991. One of the biggest weddings ever in wrestling history. They got back together, even though they were quick in real life to divorce shortly after. They had been a couple for a long time. However, on television, they were splitting off from each other. However, the fans wanted to see Randy Savage and Elizabeth together, and such unity. There was no doubt. It was such a beautiful, harmonious marriage. It was just lovely. And of course, Lita's involved in a lot of weddings. Talked about this a little bit, but now we're going to dive in even further now to Edge and Lita, Lita and Kane. Lita also kissed Matt Hardy on television. So Lita's kissed at least 3 wrestlers we know Lita has kissed on television. If anybody wants to type into the YouTube chat of any other wrestlers Lita has kissed on television. I know at least 3. I don't know if she kissed CM Punk on television or not. Somebody will send that in to me. I don't know. We'll see. I think she's kissed at least 3. Okay, so let's see. AJ Lee's got her beat by 1, folks. Okay, keep the tally. AJ Lee has beat Lita by 1 of who most wrestlers she has ever kissed on television. Keep that in mind. Now, let's go into the next disaster of a wedding. Obviously, Rusev and Lana were married in real life, and they had a wedding on WWE television back in August of 2016. So, there you go. And by the way, isn't it? It's like in wrestling. Does anybody ever, whenever there's a cake on wrestling television, don't we know it's going to be used in some way as a weapon? Wedding cake. It's always going to end up in disarray. Somebody's face is going into the cake. Could be Jim Cornette's. I don't know. Somebody's face is going into that cake. Okay. Butcher Vachon and Ophelia got married Tuesday Night Titans back in December of '84. Butcher Vachon, they were giving him a push in WWE at that time. Obviously, everybody famously remembers Dave Schultz and the Pie. And Captain Lou Albano stole the show. I just want to put that out there. He stole the show.
That's one of my favorite characters in the history of wrestling.
Isn't he great?
Captain Lou.
Captain Lou. He stole the show every time he was out there. And, of course, Raw.
He was involved in a love angle?
Oh, Lou Albano? Are you kidding me? It was Cyndi Lauper's music video. Girls just want to have fun. He wasn't involved in love angle, but he stole the show at the Butcher Vachon Ophelia wedding. And believe me, Ophelia was a word long existed before the Taylor Swift song that just came out this year. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, Raw 2002. This is the wedding Dave was talking about, the welding of the two fuses together. 1 year before their wedding, real life wedding, in 2003, they had a wedding on television. Now, fun fact about this. They drove in. They had that weird Vegas drive-in wedding where, a lot of people don't think Vegas weddings are real, but in this instance. And then Triple H revealed to Stephanie that it's real. No, weddings in Vegas are real. Who crashes more weddings than Triple H? He's going out there. He's crashing this wedding. He's crashing that wedding. He's always crashing weddings. That's the one thing about Triple H is he's wrestling's best wedding crasher. I don't know. But it's possible. He crashes a lot of weddings. I don't know. Here's the thing about weddings in wrestling. romance is an integral part of the sport, and without a doubt, it's one of these weird things that I don't get it. Now, there have been a lot of Valentine's Day inspired characters in wrestling. Brother Love's got to be near the top of the list. Bruce Pritchard, our friend, he's got his face painted red. Actually, he had inspiration from preachers down south, and that's how he came up with the Brother Love character. But there are a lot of other ones too. Now, there's Valentine. A lot of wrestlers' last names: Greg Valentine, Johnny Valentine, and somehow, for all of this, Shawn Michaels is the Heartbreak Kid. Let's just have that in the whole thing. The Heartthrobs were a character for a while. That didn't pan out. They were actually called the Heartthrobs, and they had red trunks and white lettering. But now we got to talk about Eric Bischoff's favorite WWE memory, the Billy and Chuck wedding. Oh, that remember he had that weird mask on, and it wasn't supposed to be him, and then he peels that thing off, and it's Eric Bischoff. Oh my gosh, whoa! And Stephanie's in the ring with her facial reaction and of gasp of shock and despair. My goodness, Eric Bischoff. This is one of those moments when you're just saying, my gosh, why? But Billy and Chuck, as insignificant as that tag team was, it's probably the only thing I remember, at least of Chuck's time in WWE, was probably the Billy and Chuck wedding. That's probably it. This is the only memorable thing that was in WWE during Chuck's tenure, Chuck Palumbo. I don't remember anything else about Chuck Palumbo in WWE. That's how forgettable of a wrestling career he had. But that wedding was infamous. Now, we dive into what romance means in wrestling. It goes back to the hills. Guys feuding over girls. This is like in high school. When everybody's feuding with each other over that girl is nice. She's real fine. And then they're just feuding and they're bickering over her and they all are fawning over the girl. It's very common in wrestling. There are wrestlers that have fought in the love for affection of women, God dog it, but except in real life, they also do so as well. So, without a doubt, now we're going to get to a fun final minutes of wrestling when we talk about wrestling kisses. Oh gosh, here we go. Now, we've tallied this so far that Lita has kissed at least 3 on television, and at least AJ Lee has kissed 4 on television. CM Punk, okay, Kane, Daniel Bryan, and John Cena. Okay, 4. We're going to mark this down. Okay, The Rock has kissed Trish Stratus, so Trish Stratus has kissed at least 2. Okay. Now, we know Eve Torres and Zack kissed. So Zack Ryder and Eve Torres kissed. That's something. That's something in the air. John Cena has kissed at least 3 on television, okay? Maria, Eve Torres, and Nikki Bella. He's kissed 3, okay? Kissed 3. Now, if any of you know, type into the YouTube chat how many kisses you think John Cena has had on television. How many wrestlers has AJ Lee kissed on television? You can type it into the YouTube chat. How many wrestlers has Beth Phoenix kissed on television? I count at least 3. Let me tell you the 3 I've got. Great Khali, Santino Marella, and Edge. So think about that. We got a wide range of spectrum. They're one of the tallest wrestlers ever, the goofiest wrestlers ever, and Edge. Think about that. Beth Phoenix has had a wide array of kisses on television. Folks, I want to type into the YouTube chat of how many wrestlers you think John Cena has kissed, how many AJ Lee has kissed, how many that Beth Phoenix has kissed. You can type it right into the YouTube chat. Lita, we've got at least 3. Now, we know Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan have kissed. The Valentine's Day brouhaha, we know all that happened last night. So at least that's there. And, of course, Savage and Elizabeth have kissed numerous times on television. Now, that is not counting the fact of how many women Vince McMahon has kissed on television. That's a lot. Now, Lana's got 3, okay? Lana's got Bobby Lashley, Dolph Ziggler, and Rusev. And Trish Stratus has at least 2. At least 2. So we got 2 there. Are we still leading? I think we're still leading with 4. Still leading with 4. I can't believe I'm saying this. When The Rock kissed Mae Young, that was a real thing. I can't believe I'm saying that with a straight face.
Wow, what year was that? How old was Mae Young? Mae
Young was old. I got to remember, that was like 2011, 12 maybe when that happened. Let's see.
What's your favorite? You named so many different wedding situations in wrestling, and they all kind of sounded like disasters.
Yeah.
What was your favorite angle that
you got to go with Triple H and Stephanie. Come on now. Triple H and Stephanie getting married. How could you not? That was a real-life wedding. Or Elizabeth and Randy, because everyone was so happy to see it. Those are my two favorite weddings. Power couples make great weddings. Seth and Becky have kissed. That's probably the preeminent couple today in wrestling television. They've kissed. That's another one. Hornswoggle's kissed a lot of women. Come on now. Every diva in the division, Hornswoggle has kissed them all. Every single one of them. It's at least 5 or 6. Brandy and Cody Rhodes, wrestling's power couple today, they've kissed. Stacy Keibler and Randy Orton have kissed. Come on now. How many wrestlers has Randy Orton kissed on television? We're going to welcome into the studio Ryan Swingler here is joining us on Wrestling on the Spectrum here. How many wrestling kisses can you name?
Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Randy Orton, didn't he kiss Stephanie when she was like passed out?
That's right, when he was passed out. Yep.
Then Edge and Lita kissed.
Yeah, Edge and Lita kissed. How many wrestlers has Lita kissed on television, Ryan? Do you know this?
I'm going with 6.
It's actually probably lower than that, but
3.
There you go. Yeah. 3. Can you name them?
Edge.
Yeah.
I don't know the other 2.
Matt Hardy and Kane talked about this.
Kiss Kane.
She did kiss Kane. That's right.
I can remember John Cena and I think AJ Lee.
Right? Yep. How many wrestlers has AJ Lee kissed on television, Ryan?
I know John Cena.
Yes.
CM Punk.
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler, right? No.
She may have kissed Ziggler. I only remember 4. Look at that. Ryan has named one maybe I don't even know, but yeah.
Kane.
She kissed Kane.
I think that's it.
Yep. Yeah, she kissed a lot of people.
You had mentioned Daniel Bryan, I think.
Oh, Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan.
I did mention Daniel Bryan earlier on in the episode.
Oh, Vicky Guerrero.
How about that? Vicky? Yeah, I mentioned Vicky Guerrero. How many wrestlers has Vicky Guerrero kissed on television? I don't know if her and Eddie ever kissed on television.
That's what I was saying. I'm going with, I only remember Dolph.
Del Rio, Ziggler, and Edge, I would say, are the 3 that Guerrero has kissed. Can you name all the wrestlers Beth Phoenix has kissed?
No, I don't.
How many wrestlers do you think she's kissed? Okay, Edge is one?
Yeah. I don't remember. Beth Phoenix? No.
Beth Phoenix, Great Khali, and you got this, Ryan, Santino Marella.
Oh, yeah. Comedy.
What are your favorite romantic moments in wrestling, Ryan?
I don't know. I did like the little the love triangle between AJ Lee, Edge. Oh, I keep saying Edge. AJ Lee, Daniel Bryan, and Kane.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
What a weird time. AJ Lee was with everybody.
Yeah.
CM Punk, John Cena, Big E, Dolph Ziggler was with everybody. Did she kiss Big E?
Yeah, she did.
She kissed Big E? All right. What is that? Is that what Brian's number originally had for Lita's? Up to 6?
Yeah.
At least 6. He claims 6. Somebody find the video of her kissing Big E. She probably did it.
Yeah.
She's kissing everybody. So does that mean she's wrestling's... Is she the biggest kissing diva than ever?
I think so. Oh, another kiss I remember is Eve and John Cena, right?
Right. Eve is one of them. Now, Eve has kissed at least 2 wrestlers. Eve has kissed Cena, and she's kissed Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
Now, Ryder's kissed 2, Chelsea Green, and I don't know if it's on TV. Well, he's done it on the Indies. The Rock kissed Trish Stratus, so Trish Stratus is at 2. At least 2. Ryan, what are your favorite wrestling Valentine's Day memories ever in wrestling?
I don't really remember Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Oh, Mark Henry's sexual chocolate.
What?
Yes. Oh, we talked about this earlier, but Mark Henry was called sexual chocolate, and he had a relationship with Mae Young, and he gave birth to a hand.
That was...
He had to explain that one to me, Ryan.
Listen,
so sexual chocolate to me means coming to America. So.
Yeah, that's what he was called.
Super confused about that.
All right, let me ask you both this question.
Sure.
The wrestler you would most like to have at your wedding.
Oh my gosh! So it could be male or female. We got to talk about
male or female. You're not marrying this person, but the wrestler.
I want Michael Hayes singing Jailhouse Rock.
I thought for sure you would say that. How about for you, Ryan?
R-Truth.
R-Truth?
Oh yeah. No, he wouldn't go to the right wedding.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Am I supposed to be here?
Am I supposed to be at this wedding?
Am I supposed to be the groom?"
Yeah.
All right. How about this one? Wrestler you'd most like to marry.
Oh my God! I gotta go with Stephanie. Come on, you gotta go. I'm going with Stephanie. All that money, all that power. She's got a powerful presence, God dog. You gotta go with Stephanie.
I don't know. I'll shoot my shot at Roxanne Perez. I don't know.
That's great. Roxanne Perez dating somebody, but he's in NXT right now, so he's not on the main roster.
Oof, she can't be my Valentine, I guess.
Well, listen, what wrestler isn't dating another wrestler? Randy Orton is. Now I got to count the wrestlers that aren't actually dating other wrestlers. That's another thing. Now, Lex Luger and Miss Elizabeth had a thing outside of the ring, but I don't think that ever came into the wrestling persona of in the ring. I would not believe. I don't think so. I don't think that's ever happened. I could be wrong on that. My gosh. Eddie Guerrero, though, I mean, he's had a few wrong in China. Dave was just talking about China. Triple H, X-Pac, Eddie Guerrero. He had a tag team soiree with Kane for a while, so that's definitely up there. Trying to think of the wrestlers. Who are the wrestlers then that have the least amount of romance on television then? I don't remember Gail Kim having a big romantic relationship. Do we remember? I don't think Gail ever had a big romantic relationship. I don't think that's ever happened. It's quite interesting and bizarre.
I feel like most wrestlers get into like a romantic relationship on television somewhat.
Yep.
You feel like they almost have to at some point,
like,
right?
At some point something happens to where like they get in like a romantic thing with somebody.
Well, Brody just said it. It's first of all, it's the male soap opera, right? So you've got to have the drama, and what's bigger drama, as you said earlier, than guys fighting over girls?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about what's happening this Valentine's Day and current situation, Brody? Keep us up to date on what's going on.
Valentine's Day, what's going on right now in the world of wrestling. We got Elimination Chamber coming up down the pike. We have a odd title change I referred to earlier of Kyle Fletcher actually beat Tommaso Ciampa for the AEW TNT Championship. So basically he only held it for a little bit. So basically they're passing the belts all around each other for no apparent reason.
What was his WWE career? I don't know much about him.
Tommaso Ciampa, he started in WWE 2016 primarily, had a lot of feuds with Johnny Gargano, spent a lot of time in NXT, and then he ended up tag teaming with him on the main roster, DIY, and then he didn't want to tag with Johnny Gargano anymore, so he was like, I'm going to AEW. I don't want to tag with this guy anymore. I want to be a single star. I want to be the Psycho Killer. And that's what he is.
AEW brought him in really, really nice. Like, his entrance for his first time was super, super cool.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Thought he was over. Now, if you look at the biggest love triangles in wrestling, Rusev, Lana, and Summer Rae is another love triangle that we missed. Thank you, Jeremy, for the contributions to the chat. Are just lovely, by the way, on this lovely, lovely occasion for Valentine's Day. One of the better things about wrestling Valentine's Day, all those segments on Raw when they had all the dates, when all the red petals are in the back. You have a wrestler having that date night thing, and just it would be odd because they do something weird. But yeah, I mean, a lot is going on in wrestling right now. Currently on Valentine's Day, what about bringing back St. Valentine's Day Massacre? Wouldn't that be an interesting pay-per-view to bring back? One of the last in your houses in wrestling history. One of the last in your houses ever in wrestling history. And then in one I forgot Trish Stratus, Chris Jericho, and Christian. So Chris Jericho, how many female wrestlers has he interacted with on television? Stephanie McMahon, Trish Stratus. Okay, Trish Stratus is from Canada. What else do we got? How many people we got going on right now? Oh my God! I
forgot about Trish Stratus. I remember her from my WWE versus Raw.
Yeah, old Trish.
Yeah,
old Trish. Now, old as the hills obviously is Randy. Adrian Street always had his lovely wife with him everywhere. He was kind of a glam rock wrestler who wrestled in Mid-South. Miss Linda was her name. Miss Linda was the wrestler. His wife always had accompanying with him. So, a lot of wrestlers are very protective of their loved ones in the locker room. Randy Savage very protective of Elizabeth. I'm sure Triple H very protective of Stephanie. Try to think that who's the most protective wrestler that has ever endured in the locker room. Not sure. But that'd be interesting. Somebody can write into YouTube chat of all this stuff. It's great. You know what it is? Valentine's Day Wrestling on the Spectrum is like Gossip Girl. We're just there and we're gossiping about wrestlers and their wives. That's what we do. We're guys talking about wrestlers and their wives. But that's what Valentine's Day is all about. It's what it's all about. All of us is sitting here gossiping about their wives. There's nothing better than that.